Sam. Why didn't you come back? They didn't know us ago.
Have you talked to Sam?
They got disconnected.
All communications are down. The government is silent.
To be afraid of out there. There's a lot of real danger. War game simulations. Events just like this.
No! Get back in the car!
See the falls. They'll always keep us safe. You just drive. I got this.
How It End's director swore this scene was cut, but we found it. What does it reveal about the ending? You won't believe your eyes. The beginning of the film. We meet a young man named Will who wants to marry his friend Sam. However, to do that, he needs to get permission from her father, an ex-army officer known for his strict nature. Sam tries to reassure Will, telling him not to worry and that her father isn't as tough as he seems. Encouraged by her words, Will visits Sam's parents. Her mother welcomes him warmly, but things take a turn when her father arrives. Will's mood sours immediately due to the father's hostile and suspicious questions. When Will shares his plan to buy a house for Sam, her father coldly rejects the idea, suspecting that Will wants to take their daughter far away from them. Will tries to defend his intentions, saying it was Sam's idea to move, but a heated argument follows. Frustrated, Will storms off to his room without proposing or even revealing that Sam is pregnant. The next morning, Will receives a call from Sam. She senses something is wrong from his tone and tries to comfort him. But before they can talk more, strange noises come from Sam's end and the call drops. All attempts to contact her fail. Concerned, Will heads to the airport, but all flights are canceled. With no other option, he returns to Sam's parents' house, where he finds her father equally worried. The two decide to travel by road to reach Sam, and despite their differences, Will agrees to join him. As they begin their journey, they find the world in chaos. Roads are jammed, and gas stations are packed with people fighting over fuel and supplies. At one station, Will is harassed by goons, but Sam's dad steps in heroically with a gun and scares them off. Will questions why he carries a gun, and Sam's dad explains that in times like these, it's necessary for protection. Later, they encounter a roadblock by the army. Thanks to his former status, Sam's dad talks their way through. As night falls, their troubles increase. A psychotic man in a police car starts following them. When they stop to confront him, the man attempts to shoot them. They narrowly escape by switching routes, but further ahead, they encounter a group of deer. Swerving to avoid them, their car crashes into a tree. While Will is still recovering, the same psycho shows up and aims a gun at him. Suddenly, Sam's dad attacks the man from behind, saving Will. A brutal fight ensues, and although Sam's dad defeats the attacker, he suffers broken ribs. They manage to restart their journey by towing their car to a garage, where a greedy mechanic demands a high price for repairs. With no other choice, they comply. The mechanic, who also wants to head in the same direction, joins them as they continue. Another speeding car crashes into them. Will checks and finds the passengers dead, victims fleeing from robbers. Now the robbers target Will's group. They manage to escape, but soon face another challenge. Violent thunderstorms and heavy rain force them to stop under a bridge. It's now the third day of their journey. The next morning brings scorching heat. They stop at a store for supplies and witness burning fields caused by the heat wave. Amid this chaos, they see a girl asking for help. Will approaches, only to discover it's a trap by robbers. The group loses all their fuel and food. Determined to survive, Will, Sam's dad, and the mechanic girl devise a plan to reclaim their supplies. The mechanic shoots the robber's car tires, causing it to crash and overturn. As they retrieve their supplies, the car explodes behind them. Though they survive, the mechanic is devastated by the deaths she caused. Feeling guilty, she stops traveling with them and asks for time alone. Will respects her decision and returns to the car. The next morning, the mechanic is gone. With no time to search for her, Will and Sam's dad press on. Along the way, they find a derailed train and scavenge for supplies. Sam's dad's condition worsens due to his earlier injuries. He gives Will a painkiller and then, sensing his time is short, asks Will to promise to take care of Sam and their unborn child. He admits he now trusts Will and believes in him. Just when things seem to settle, a gang of bikers attacks. Sam's dad instructs Will to drive forward while he takes out the gang's truck with a well-aimed shot. The explosion disperses the gang. Unfortunately, this heroic act marks the end for Sam's dad. He passes away, leaving Will devastated but determined to continue. With the car now useless, Will sets it on fire and begins walking. It's now the 5th day of the journey. Eventually, he comes across a family and asks for a ride. Fearing he's a robber, they point a gun at him, but then agree to help after taking his weapon. Will brings them to his parents' nearby house and trades shelter for their car. He finally reaches his destination, only to find a city in ruins, burned vehicles, collapsed buildings, and lifeless bodies everywhere. At Sam's apartment, he sees a note with an address and a message, "Come and find me." Will follows the address and is met by a nervous young man with a gun. Before he can shoot, he recognizes Will as a neighbor. Just then, Sam rushes out and embraces Will. Overwhelmed with joy, they finally reunite. However, their moment is shadowed by the neighbor's jealousy. He secretly had feelings for Sam. Exhausted, Will goes to sleep. He wakes up during an earthquake and sees glowing clouds in the sky. When he asks what happened to the city, Sam's neighbor explains that it was the result of planned bombings by American forces, and everything since then has been fallout. Will refuses to believe this, arguing that such destruction can't cause continuous disasters. The neighbor becomes increasingly hostile. The next day, the neighbor takes Will into the forest, intending to kill him to have Sam for himself. He confesses his jealousy before aiming the gun, but Will acts fast and shoots him using Sam's dad's gun. As he stands there, a volcano erupts in the distance. Realizing the danger, Will grab Sam, and they flee together, racing against the approaching lava and destruction. The movie ends with Will and Sam on the run, united at last. Despite the uncertainty and devastation around them, the important thing is they're together. Still confused about the ending? Don't worry, even the actors were. Let's argue about it below, and hit subscribe for more chaos. Thanks for watching.